Good afternoon. I'm Julie Sullivan, and it's just my pleasure to welcome you today to our first Friday luncheon and to this sunny May Friday. I think all of us have been waiting for this sun to come out, so it's joyful today. I want to thank Minnesota Bank and Trust, our season sponsor of our First Friday series, and our two gold sponsors, Stinson Electric and the executive education programs in our Opus College of Business. This has been a very full week here at St. Thomas. In fact, one of my trustee colleagues just sat down next to me, and we have another trustee colleague, and then we have another guest from California. This is their third event at St. Thomas in the last 24 hours, I think. So we have been very, very busy. Wednesday evening, we bestowed St. Thomas Day honors on 3 extraordinary alumni, a faculty member as Professor of the Year, and a student as our new Tommy of the Year. So I encourage you to go to our website and view the videos and read about the extraordinary colleagues you have in this Tommy network. And yesterday, we held a groundbreaking ceremony for the new Iverson Center for Faith and the expansion of the Chapel of St. Thomas Aquinas. So you've probably noticed, if you've driven down Cleveland, that there are, well, that's not what you see, but what you will see is a construction fence around on kind of the northeast corner of our campus. And not only are we expanding the area around the chapel and renovating the chapel, but we are also building 2 new dorms on that north corner of campus, where JP2 is and where the faculty residence is. So you're going to see, if you come back, hopefully you'll be here many times in between, but if you come back in a year, it's going to look quite a bit different. This I do want to comment on as well. If you walk through campus today, you've noticed several visible messages of thanks and gratitude. And this is our way of reminding our community that much of the work we do here is funded by external philanthropy. And it's not just the tuition that our students pay. There are many other people that have come together to really support our students and make the extraordinary education that we're able to provide to them possible. And we want to make sure that we keep those people in our mind, in our prayers, and continue to be grateful for them. So that's what that's all about. And speaking of gratitude, I'd now like to ask our Vice President for Mission, Father Larry Snyder, to lead us in a prayer before our lunch. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and let us join in prayer. Lord God and giver of all good gifts, we are grateful as we pause before this meal for all the blessings that you give to us. Daily we are fed with good things, nourished by friendship, and feasted with forgiveness. We are grateful for this university where we have been educated and formed to be responsible leaders who work to build up the common good. We ask you to bless the students who currently follow that path. May they grow in wisdom and knowledge and a deepening of virtue and faith. We ask you to bless our alumni. May they find success as they work to realize their dreams. Mindful of your continuous care, we are grateful for the blessings of this table and this time together. We ask you to bless the hands that have prepared this food and those that serve it. Always keep in your special care those that we carry in our hearts, and those who are most in need of your love and mercy this day. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Bon appetit.
Thank you so much. Apologize for interrupting this delicious lunch, but I want to be sure we allow plenty of time for our speaker. And so now it is my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Jim Snee. Jim is chairman of the board, president, and chief executive officer of Hormel Foods. a Fortune 500 branded food company that we're all very familiar with in the state of Minnesota. But the company spans the globe. The company operates in 75 countries around the world. They have an annual revenue exceeding $9 billion, and Hormel produces more than 30 brands, including many that are in your refrigerators or your cupboards, such as Skippy, Spam, Holy Guacamole, Natural Choice, and Justin's. Jim is only the 10th president and CEO in the company's 128-year history. He joined the company in 1989 and assumed the roles of increasing responsibility throughout its divisions and headquarters in Austin, Minnesota. Jim was named President and Chief Operating Officer in October 2015 and Chief Executive Officer in October 2016. He remained CEO, but he also was elected Chairman of the Board in October 2017. Jim earned a bachelor's degree in marketing from New Mexico State University, which he is from New Mexico, and a master's degree in business administration from the University of St. Thomas, which we're very proud of. So please join me in welcoming Jim.
Thanks, Julie. Appreciate it. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here. It really is an honor to be back at the University of St. Thomas, and I don't have this confirmed, and I promise I'm not trying to spread fake news. But if you look at my resume from beginning to end, it may have taken me longer to start an MBA and finish an MBA at the University of St. Thomas than anyone in the history of the university. I don't know. Dr. Sullivan hasn't confirmed that for me yet, but I do think she's going to go back and check. So really what I want to do for you today is three things. One, tell you a little bit about my journey. The second thing is tell you a little bit about Hormel Foods, because I think it's a company in southern Minnesota that is very different and very unique. The phrase you'll hear me use, uncommon. And I think there's a lot of things that most people don't know about our company. And then the third thing is talk to you about what we call our food journey. And so really it's this journey that we are on as a company over time to change the view of A, big companies, and B, big food companies. Because there's a lot of great things happening 100 miles south of here, and I want to share some of those with you today. So my journey, as Dr. Sullivan said, it started in 1989, June 5th, 1989, when I had graduated from New Mexico State University. I like to say the New Mexico State University, just like some others talk about a school in Ohio. But that's usually what happens. People just laugh at me. It doesn't have the same panache as the Ohio State University. But I started at Hormel Foods June 5th, 1989, in the Bay Area. And if you fast forward to the right side of the slide, on June 5th of this year, God willing and board of directors willing, I will have my 30th anniversary with one company. Quite uncommon in today's era of jobs, and so it's something that I'm really proud of. But in between there, I'm also very proud of the fact that I was able to obtain my Master's of Business Administration at University of St. Thomas. I started with classes in Owatonna, the Gainey Conference Center, weekend classes Friday night and Saturday. I have classmates here today who remember those days well. And it was in 1993, 1994. And then work and life got in the way. Transfers, kids, lots of things in between. But there was a defining moment for me, the letter that said, we're changing the curriculum. And if you don't finish by this date, everything that you've done is gone. Talk about motivation. So I was able to finish in 2010. And it's a degree that I did for me. I often get asked, why'd you get your MBA? Did it help you with your job? Did it help you with so many other things? And I say, no, I did it for me. I did it because it was something that I wanted to do personally And has it helped me professionally? I certainly think so, but it started with me wanting to and having to do it. So that's my journey, 30 years with the company on June 5th. And with a company that, as I mentioned, I don't know that everybody knows that much about, Hormel Foods. So we are a $9.5 billion organization. It's publicly traded, listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Our shares are for sale, so if after this presentation you want to run out and buy some, feel free. Depending on the day, our market cap really runs around $20 billion, so a sizable organization. But there's a couple of things that we're really, really proud of, things that are in our control. The fact that we've been able to deliver earnings growth, now 29 out of the last 33 years. There are only 7 companies in the S&P 500 who can make that claim. And when it comes to delivering or sharing that success with shareholders, we've now have 53 consecutive years of dividend increases. That puts us in a grouping of companies that's called dividend aristocrats. And for the last decade, we've had 10 consecutive double-digit dividend increases. So again, speaking volumes to the track record of success of our company. And then we're also really proud of not just the performance, but how we do it. And the fact that we're now ranked number 16 of the 100 best corporate citizens really confirms for us that we're going about it the right way. That it's not just about the bottom line, it's getting there the right way. So, a little more about Hormel Foods. This is our global headquarters. It looks just like most other global headquarters, right? Isn't that a beautiful campus? Could be in Minneapolis, could be in Chicago, could be in Kansas City, right? Could be in Seattle, for all we know. But it's not. It's in Austin, Minnesota, a small town of 23,000 people 100 miles south of here. And that makes us unique. It makes us different. And actually, the word that we like to use is it makes us uncommon. There aren't many $9.5 billion organizations in a remote town of 23,000 people. There just aren't. So that starts with the uncommonality. And when you think about the fact that we have such a unique ownership structure, 48.5% of our common shares of stock are controlled by the Hormel Foundation. And we like to say it's the greatest gift that we ever received from the Hormel family. And they have really 3 charges. 1, to provide for the heirs of the Hormel family. 2, to give back to the community. And 3rd, to provide and guarantee the independence of our company. And so when you think about what's happening in the marketplace today in this era of activist investors, we're not so bold to never say never, but it certainly gives you a different view of the world. It gives you a different level of confidence as people are thinking about the long term and coming to work for us and wanting to build and have a career fostered over the long term. Our average management tenure, 25 years, not in the industry, with our company. Again, something that's very uncommon in the world today. And then the last thing I would say about us that we think is uncommon is we don't refer to ourselves as a consumer products company or a fast-moving consumer goods organization. We're not a protein company. We're not a commodity company. We refer to ourselves as a global branded food company. For us, it begins and ends with food. It's all about the food. And we believe that nobody does food better than we do. In fact, we have over 40 brands in the marketplace today that are number 1 or number 2 in the categories in which they compete. And that is incredibly important when you think about the competitive landscape and what's happening with the continued pressure on private label, right? And who's going to get the space on the shelf? Well, I can tell you if you're stuck in the middle, it's not going to be you. So you want to be in that leading position. Dr. Sullivan mentioned some of the brands that you probably are all very familiar with. Spam, Skippy, Hormel chili. I'm going to talk a little bit more about a couple of those here in a second. But people don't realize that we also own Justin's, the leading almond nut butter. They don't know that we own Applegate, the leader in natural and organic meats. So these brands are very important to our success. Some of these brands are acquired, but a lot of these brands are homegrown. Brands that we've developed over the years, and brands that truly are iconic brands. This year, we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of Hormel pepperoni. Isn't that shocking? It is to me. You know, Dinty Moore, 1935, Hormel chili, 1936, Spam, 1937. We are in the midst of our 5th consecutive year of record sales for Spam. Shocking, isn't it? Yeah, and why is that? Why is that? Because the response or the question I usually get is, boy, yeah, I remember when I used to eat Spam. Well, guess what? There are a lot of people still eating Spam, and it's on trend. Right? You'll see it on menus of some of the hottest restaurants on the coast, Asian fusion restaurants that have it, and it's in places that it's never been. But it's also a staple to a lot of diets because it is an affordable source of protein. It's an affordable source of food. And when we think about what's happening in the world today, right, as you have this bifurcation of wealth, there are a lot of people who need affordable food. And Spam fits that bill incredibly well. And so over time, we have seen this evolution of Hormel Foods from a meat processor to a global branded food company. And it started in 1891 on the banks of the Cedar River when George A. Hormel set down his stakes because he thought this looks like a good place to be able to get ice out of the Cedar River to keep the meat cold in the processing plant that I want to build. Thank God he stopped there. And so over time, you can see the brands, the products that have come to be, and how we've crossed some of the milestones from 1 billion to 3 billion to 8 billion to now being a $9.5 billion organization that's got an incredible amount of brands that are number 1 or number 2, but brands that are so meaningful and relevant with consumers in a way that brands have never been before. So I mentioned Applegate. As consumers want more transparency, they want to know more about where their food is coming from. Natural and organic has become more and more important, and we're there front and center. Justin's, natural and organic almond butter, the same story. But we have options, we have choices. We can sell a consumer Applegate or Justin's, or we can sell them Spam and Dinty Moore. Wherever they want us to be, we're there for them. And so in addition, again, to the products, the food, the performance, we're recognized for doing it the right way. And for me personally, this is what's most rewarding. Because this isn't about me. This is about our team of 20,000 people around the globe being recognized for the great work that they're doing and being recognized in so many ways, ways that we've never been recognized for. So yeah, we talk about innovation. We've been an innovative company since our beginning. We've talked about, we think we've got good management. Yeah, that's great. But for us to be able to get a perfect score for the Equality Index speaks volumes to the progress that we've made as an organization, not just in the area of diversity, and we have a lot more work to do, but the area of inclusion and how we are welcoming and including people and giving them license to be their whole selves at work each and every day. This, for me, is what's so incredibly important. And these are the things that we need to continue to do for our team members and for our consumers. But this is a journey, right? There's not a finish line. I say it's a journey in perpetuity. There was a starting line in 1891 when George Hormel started this company, but there's no finish line. This has been a journey for 128 years, and now it's our food journey. And on a journey, it's not all downhill with tailwinds. Journeys are uphill, downhill, curves, headwinds, tailwinds, sleet, snow, sunshine. But it's our journey. And this journey is about us making a difference with our people and our partners, improving communities where we live and where we work, and really creating products, creating food that improves lives all over the globe. And I've run a short video that I think will give you an even better explanation of what our food journey is all about.
At Hormel Foods, we've been on a journey for more than 125 years. That journey began in a small town filled with hardworking people in the heart of American farm country. But these heartland principles still guide Hormel Foods on this, our food journey. And what a journey it is. Our journey is inspired not only by the food we make, but by the difference we can make in our world. Since the beginning, we've believed that social responsibility is more than giving a percentage of our profits at the end of the year. While we are committed to many worthy causes, including cancer research and fighting childhood hunger, it is our core business, efficiently producing delicious food for the world's growing population, that we are most proud of. Our belief is that good business and good stewardship go hand in hand. Given our role in helping to feed America and the world, we know that building social value and creating economic value are not competing goals. For us, there is no daylight between good citizenship and good business. Our job is to create beloved brands while also making an impact in communities across the globe. All of humanity is now our hometown. We couldn't be more proud to support our partnership with more than 500 family farms, often spanning multiple generations. They share our commitment to unwavering animal welfare standards and environmental stewardship. Not because someone's watching, but because it's the right thing to do. And with this foundation of stewardship, it is our added mission to ensure that we do our part in the sustainability of our planet by reducing water usage and being a good environmental steward while pursuing alternative energy sources like solar gardens. And while we are doing the big things like preparing quality meals and snacks that feed millions of families every day, we are also doing the little things that make a big difference, like planting wildflowers to nurture bees and butterflies that will pollinate acres upon acres of food. We know we have a great responsibility to use our expertise to inspire the development of foods that support humankind, from patients recovering from cancer to parents caring for their kids. Our inspired people, more than 20,000 strong, are focused on doing more, reaching for higher heights, and inspiring others to do the same. It's who we are, unafraid to lead, imagine, and inspire others in the food industry to do the same. This is our journey, but we won't go it alone. As we move forward, we will be joined by our customers, employees, communities, farmers, and others who, like us, believe we can all make a difference. Together, all of us, we will challenge the status quo, make new discoveries, and lead by example. We'll prove that progress is measured not only in the dollars we make, but in the lives we touch and the communities we lift. Because at Hormel Foods, we're not just inspired to make great food, we're inspired to make a difference. On this, our food journey.
And so it really is just who we are, right? Unafraid to lead. And not because someone's watching or someone's telling us that we have to, but it's the right thing to do. Right? And this is a team of 20,000 people who truly are inspired by the food we make, but beyond that, inspired by the difference that we are making in this world. And that's powerful. And yeah, we can write checks. We write a lot of checks. Last year we wrote checks for $15 million for a lot of great, important causes. And we'll continue to do that. But we know that we can do more, and we will do more. So on this food journey, we're focused on creating products that improve lives. And lives that needed to be improved were lives in Guatemala that had the highest level of childhood malnutrition. Young children not getting the protein that they need to develop physically and cognitively. We knew that. We had that insight. And so we wanted to make a difference on this journey. We have the financial wherewithal. We have the human capital. We have the equipment. We have the technology. We have business partners, suppliers wanting to help us make a difference. And so we set out to do just that. And it's a project that we call, what do you expect? Project Spammy. But it's a canned product, a turkey-based product that we developed internally and through various partnerships have been able to supply it to the country of Guatemala. And I just want to share with you more about the project and the difference it's making.
You know, going on those home visits, it was a real eye-opener to see the conditions that the families are living in. I just go through waves. It's really hard to see. But the good thing is that, you know, when the kids smile and, you know, you make that connection and it makes it all worthwhile.
So Project Spammy has three main focus areas. The first is nutrition, so it's the Spammy product. The second element is really education, so that's the Chispa centers. And then the third is engagement with our employees and coming on trips like this to help out. Guatemala has a huge poverty rate. We've worked with our partners for years with Food for the Poor and Caritas, and so they really helped us focus our efforts and make sure that our programs and our product is getting to those in need.
Guatemala has a very high malnutrition rate in children under 5 years old. There's a lot of stunting, lack of protein, so they're meeting that need directly.
Hormel actually developed a product specifically for the children in Guatemala to prevent malnutrition. It's fortified with vitamins and minerals that they're lacking in their diet. By getting those vitamins and minerals, it really helps the children.
We're improving the health and well-being of these children and their families.
Gracias a ellos, mi hija está bien. Está creciendo sana y fuerte.
The Chispa centers are wonderful. They're basically education centers for children. So Hormel Foods has helped open 24 Chispa centers, and Hormel Foods employees actually come down, helped open the centers up, stacked them, welcomed the children to the center, painted them, made them open for the children.
When I'm over here, I'm inspired by seeing the children smile, seeing families smile when they've got virtually nothing. Yet they're happy, they're smiling, and they've got, so that you can see that they've got some hope. And as it moves on, there's other things that go with it, that sponsoring kids in some of the schools, and hopefully some of them come back and help their villages.
Project Spammy is a project of changing lives. Working in the past without Hormel, without the Spammy project, we just gave to the people. Right now, we are living with the people, suffering with the people, smiling with the people, and because they are part of us, and we are part of them.
So just one of many examples about how we are making a difference in the world on this food journey. And so to date, we've helped nearly 10,000 families, total of 30,000 children, 25 million servings of Project SPAMI. Again, we are making a difference. And the phrase that you'll hear very often in our office, or if you're in Guatemala, is "Si se puede." Now, the literal translation means, yes, we can. I will tell you the local translation is, the impossible is possible. And that's our mantra on so many of our projects, so many of the things that we're doing to make a difference, is that when we're engaged, when we put forth our best effort, the impossible is possible. Si se puede. And so that's our story. That's our journey. An uncommon company located in a small town in southern Minnesota, but committed to making a difference and inspired not only by the food we make, but really inspired by the difference we're making in the world. So I thank you for your time today. I thank you for listening, paying attention, and I believe we have about 10 minutes for questions if anybody has anything on their mind about me or our company.
Microphone too.
Yeah. This is a classmate. This is a loaded
That's right.
question already. I know. What do you want?
It was a stage question too.
Yeah, well, okay.
Has Hormel looked at any? I have two kids with severe nut allergies. Has Hormel looked at anything related to food allergies and the things related?
Yes. I mean, obviously with Skippy and peanuts, that's very, very concerning. We are looking into other items, whether we develop or acquire, that really are more allergy neutral. And I mean, we do see that as an opportunity, but there's nothing that we have especially in that nut butter portfolio. But what's interesting is there are products that you would consider nuts that really aren't or are allergy-free or allergy-resistant, if you will. So yeah, it's something that we have on our radar because we know that's a real consumer need.
Could you expand on the role of your foundation and other projects you might be involved in with the foundation?
Yeah, so probably the biggest project, and the picture I had of our campus here, if you went probably 1,000 feet to the right, what I didn't show you is what's called the Hormel Institute. And the Hormel Institute has hundreds of scientists that work because it's one of the world's leading cancer research facilities. And that is a partnership between the Hormel Foundation, the University of Minnesota, and the Mayo Clinic. The foundation, the Hormel Foundation, is funded by the dividends off the share of the stock, so we're obviously very closely linked. But Jay Hormel, so it was a son of our founder, this was really his brainchild, his pet project, if you will. So the foundation heavily funds the Hormel Institute, and they are out to cure cancer. And one of the things that we always say is, wouldn't it be cool someday if we really could say that cancer was cured in Spamtown, USA? And so the foundation gets involved. We talked about a new rec center that we're building in town. It's a $40 million rec center. The foundation put in, $30 million. The company put in $5 million. And then through our employee matching program, basically the community is getting a $40 million rec center for free. And so it's those kinds of things that are happening in our community because of the company, but also the Hormel Foundation. And it's hard to get your head around because it's such an uncommon business structure.
I work with a group that has a children's home in Guatemala, among other places. Our kids are from 0 to 18, so that fits your profile for spammy. Would the way to get in touch with you be through Caritas down there, or how?
Yeah, I mean, so we work with Food for the Poor and Caritas, and they're the ones who really are distributing the product, but that would be a great place to start. But if you don't have any success, I'm pretty easy to find, and I can hook you up with the individuals who organize the project internally. And if there's an opportunity to partner up, we'd love to do it.
Strike out with Caritas, I'll be back.
I didn't hear that last part. Okay, one up front.
Obviously, you've been able to attract top talent because you're so successful. What's your secret?
So the question is, you're able to attract top talent, what's your secret? One of the questions, one of the conversations we had at the table was, boy, it must be hard to get people to Austin, Minnesota. And my response was, once we get them there, they stay. But that's true of the upper Midwest. And so it's not necessarily an Austin issue, it's an upper Midwest issue. The people from the South are going to be scared of Austin, Minneapolis, Chicago, wherever. But once we get them, they stay. But more specifically to Hormel and Austin, I mean, people want to be tied to a winner. And so when they see the track record of success, when they see the fact that our average management tenure is 25 years, there's a level of stability. And when they understand that we're not a strategy of the day, week, or month organization, that the strategies that we're executing today are really not all that different than we were executing 30 years ago when I started with the company. Some things have changed, some have evolved, but there's a level of consistency and success that breeds success, and people are attracted to that. And then the fact that it's a small town. Right? Small town values. Kids are still out riding their bike late at night. When my kids were younger, I could pop over to a conference and be back at work in 10 minutes. So there's really a lot of attractive things. We may not have all the best dining and best culture, but there's a lot of things that we do have that people are yearning for. Anything else? Okay. Well, again, we got one more over here, and I think we have time for just that one more.
What has been a challenge and a benefit of working for the same company for 30 years?
I would say that the challenge is there are times when I don't know what I don't know because, I haven't seen what else is out there. And to compensate for that, I mean, we do have a lot of promote from within, but we also are not afraid to have external hires, people who come with different visions, different experiences. We think that's important so that we don't get too insular and think that our way is always the right way. But we have to be very careful of that. It's a fine line and a balance that we think about and talk about all the time. But I think that the biggest opportunity is that, I've had a career within a career, right? Within one company, it isn't that I've just been on sales or I've just been in marketing. I've run our international division. I've run our purchasing organization. The opportunity to see and do so many things in 30 years for me and for so many other people in our company really has been just an outstanding opportunity. So great. Again, thank you for your time, your attention. I was hoping to get a few more thank yous because I brought this warm weather from the south, but don't worry about it. I'll get the thank yous on the way out the door. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Well, Jim, thank you very much, and I'll thank you for the warm weather. I appreciate it. And as a Southerner who has relocated to the Midwest, once you get here, it is very difficult to ever think of leaving. So thank you for that as well. It's a wonderful place. And thank you for telling the story of Hormel. I think as a university that's committed to advancing the common good, we certainly resonate with the ways that you are certainly doing that as a company also. And we also resonate with your inclusion message. I'll mention the bus that's in Moynihan Plaza. Maybe you'll have a chance to stop by. But just like Hormel, the University of St. Thomas is really committed to being an organization and having a culture that includes everyone, respects everyone, and allows everyone to show up as their best self every day. And so thank you for that commitment. But the bus that's out there, actually, I signed on behalf of the University of St. Thomas, and I think you may have signed on behalf of Hormel. There's a CEO action plan that about 600 organizations around Action Pledge around the country have signed, in that we are committed to education that helps us understand our implicit biases and understand our blind spots and work actively to be intentional and thoughtful about not jumping to conclusions about people based on stereotypes. So thank you. And this is our final First Friday luncheon of the whole academic year. But I hope we'll see you back in the fall. As you know, we start back the first Friday in October, and we look forward to seeing you all then. And please pick up your parking voucher on the way out and enjoy the warm weather that Jim bought you. Thank you.